Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone had a great and wonderful day. Now, this may be something that may get under your skin for pro-lifers, for what I'm going to say, and then what is going to probably be a bit more on the hatred side of the abortion activists. As you will see that I have dropped a video about somebody talk about her abortion and how disgusting that is, but be as it may, there's something else that needs to go over. We're going to watch this video here that is 30 seconds and honestly on how stupid it is, and how on the recent we're going to go over the things that, that is the cause of some of these happening. Alright, so let's go over this together here. So, let's watch.
I can't believe this. My daughter was raped. And you're not going to do anything?
I'm sorry. They'll put us all in prison if we do the procedure.
He's right. I'm your Republican congressman. We've banned abortion. No exceptions.
She's just 12 years old. I'm not letting you destroy her life.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just going to watch your daughter and make sure she doesn't do anything illegal.
I can't believe this.
Now, as you can see, this is stupid. The November 7th elections in PA and Ohio are the next battlegrounds for reproductive rights. What you're about to see is happening to little girls and women all over our country. Watch the sequel to Republican in your bedroom, Republicans watching your daughter. Now, here's a dumb thing here. This is about 5% of the actual cases, and I think even if you go down younger, I think it's 2%, which is a very small percentage. Now, with the Republicans on this, I am a pro-lifer for the most part. I do not agree with abortion with any circumstance, unless it comes down to, obviously, rape, right? Because, obviously, you have other issues. You have to think of the woman's psychological nature. You have to think of, it's not a wanted pregnancy at all. She didn't willingly go into this act that was done to her, that she is dead. She didn't do this by her own decision. It was forcibly put upon her, and as I would say, I would not force somebody that had something that was forcibly put upon them to have to suffer the repercussions of those things that was forced upon them. That's completely stupid. It should always be by their own merit, by what their own things that they have done that led up to those consequences. For instance, if this person was, went and did the sexual act and they got pregnant, well, then you don't have the right to an abortion. I'm sorry, you just don't. And, of course, you people are going to go out and cry and say, what about if it's the life of the mother? Okay, let's already go through this. The fact that is not really considered an abortion. When the woman's life is in danger, it's not considered abortion, right? When your life is in danger and they have to abort or essentially kill the baby or remove the baby from the mother because it's killing the mother, it's not considered abortion. It never has been. And still, even though it's not considered abortion, a lot of women takes a very hard toll on it, regardless of whether it's considered abortion or not. And that's the issue. So, that being said, it's not considered abortion in that sense. And I wouldn't even classify it as either, really. So, let's calm down here, alright? But in most cases, without the mother's life being in danger, without the forcefulness of the baby being put upon them, there is no reason why to allow abortion at all. Other than you're having your own, honestly, your consequences removed from you. Now, that doesn't mean, for instance, if your consequences come down to, you're walking down the street and some type of, maybe revealing clothing or whatever, and then you end up getting raped. This is not necessarily your fault. You should not, just because you're wearing revealing clothing does not mean you should be raped. I mean, you should probably walk down the street and nude and not be able to have to worry about getting raped, alright? That's just obvious that you shouldn't have to deal with that. However, if you are doing things by your own volition and you are doing consensually, and then the circumstance is you do get pregnant, well, you don't have the right to an abortion. Just straight up, you just don't. Because you consensually did this. And you're ending a life for no legitimate reason. However, all the other reasons, completely valid and understandable. Like the rape thing, and if your life is if your aunt or your life is under threat because, the baby is literally killing you, understandable. Go ahead and do it. But there are other reasons, but those are the exceptions to this. And again, the Republicans are not going to go after people for this type of stuff in general. And we're going to go through the roadmap. So we have this. This is the states with abortions and restrictions with exceptions for rape or incest. So it says Idaho, the more darker blue is total and 6-week LMP bans in effect. They contain an affirmative defense and exception for cases of rape or incest, respectively. In order for the exception to apply, the pregnant person needs to report the assault to law enforcement prior to receiving abortion care. Yes, so that makes a lot of sense. There's 8 states doing it, which is Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, Indiana, West Virginia, and Georgia. And these are all the exceptions. And then you have this one, which is the cyan color, is the state's 15-week LMP ban that's currently in effect, does not contain exception for cases of rape or incest, which I'm pretty sure most people are going to have this be in the more darker blue area. This is more confirmed. But again, the way I see this is this is a massive. They should always have this exception. These states should always be the darker blue, right? And the one thing is that, and these are all abortions. Abortion available until fetal viability, no ban in place. So these are the huge problems here that I have with these abortion areas. And a lot of these states have various things and what have you, and this should be led down to obviously the states and where they want to decide doing this. The problem I have with this is that I can see where the Republicans are going with the abortion stuff, right? Or pro-life stuff. I agree to almost 90% of the stuff. The only problem I have with this is this stuff here, which is an issue, and then the death thing. But obviously the death thing is already put in place in the first place. So there we have it. But now let's go into here. We have the total number of forcible rape cases reported in the United States in 2020 by state, and these are all really high, and I do not want them being this high. Obviously, as a supplementary notes, the revised USCR definition of a rape is penetration, no matter how slight, of the orifice or any anus with any body part or object, or oral penetration by a sex or organ or another person without the consent of the victim. Attempts or assaults to commit are also included in the statistics presented here. However, statutory rape and incest are included. So this is also includes incest. Statutory, and I have problems with the statutory thing as well, because the statutory, it really gets. I think that needs to be discussed more, because I think if you can do 18 and 17-year-old, or even the 18 to 16-year-old, it's really just yes, the person's adult, but it's literally just 2 years. It's really not that big of an age gap. But now, if you're doing 18 or 14, or God forbid, 18 to 12, okay, yeah, we're reading some real issues here. But people have to understand, 2 years is not that big of a deal. 1 year is not that big of a deal. And 3 years, possibly, maybe not that big of a deal, depending, obviously, 18 if you're going to have some problems there, so we would have to discuss with the 18. But anything below that, 14, 18, 12, 13, anything below that, especially, okay, yeah, I would even say that would be even great standards in some cases here, right? But in this instance, this is a huge problem. So we have this here, which is by state and all these things. Now let's go to here, rape-related pregnancy estimates and descriptive characteristics from a natural sample of women. Obviously, let's take into account here to where some women don't report it, right? So we're also going to take this here. The national rape-related pregnancy safe rate is 5% per among victims of reproductive age, among aged 12 to 45. Among adult women, so obviously this would be, a 12 to 45, which is 5%. That's a very wide margin of people. So be honest here. Among adult women, estimated 32,101 pregnancies result from rape each year. Among 34 cases of rape-related pregnancy, the majority occurred among adolescents and resulted from assault by a known often-related perpetrator. Only 11.7% of these victims received immediate medical attention for the assault, and 47.1% received no medical attention related to the rape. A total of 32.4% of these victims did not discover they were pregnant until they had already entered the second trimester. 32.2% opted to keep the infant, whereas 50% underwent abortion and 5.9% placed the infant for adoption, and an additional 11.1% had spontaneous abortion. So again, this is another thing that people always do, is that you can always put these unwanted things for adoption. But again, we would have to also think about the 2% here as well, where like if it's 12, then it's a very low number. Now, let's go to the Democrats' root of things. All right, let's go to the crime trends in California. California's violent crime rate increased by 6.0% from 440 to per 400,000 cases in 2020 to 466 in 2021. While robberies fell somewhat by 1.9%, aggravated assaults jumped by 8.9%, and homicides and rape increased by 7.7% and 7.9% respectively. So this is increased. So that means we all know that California has actively done nothing to prevent crime. So therefore, more rapes and all this is going to happen. So the Democrats, which is California's a Democratic state, is also helping with the rapes of these children, because obviously, if you're not going to bring down the crime, then you're not going to prevent the rapes of the children. Let's go here. We have this as well. This is from New York City, right? NYPD officers continue to proactively combat crime and disorder citywide through intelligence-based precision policing. Through the first quarter of 2023, NX crime arrests are at a 24-year high, fueled by a 15% increase over the first quarter of 2022 and a 7.9 increase in March compared to March 2022. Arrests for these most serious crimes are up in every New York City borough for every month of 2023. Overall arrests for March 2023 were up 12.3% from March 2022 and up to 23.5% for the first 3 months of this year, representing a 4-year high. Data shows that the gun crime in New York City has been driven by gangs and street crews, and the NYPD is committed to ending the cycle of violence. In the first 3 months of 2023, the NYPD Detective Bureau, in collaboration with the department's law enforcement partners, concluded 34 long-term investigations, including 12 targeting gang activity. So, yeah. And also, this has gone up. So, rape has gone up by 1 so far, and it's at 0.8%. But, again, it's still gone up. And we are going to go to the final one with Chicago. The crime statistics of 2023 show a significant increase in major crimes such as a motor vehicle theft, robbery, burglary, theft, aggravated battery, and criminal assault, sexual assault. The homicide and murder rates have reduced by 9% compared to 22, but the murder rate increased by 78% to 2019. So, again, we're seeing even the sexual assaults have been increased because they're not reducing the crime. So if we're going to go here and say that, okay, well, this is the problem that Republicans are doing, okay, fair. But why are so many of you states, which is I named specifically just blue states, to where their crime has increased dramatically because they've been doing soft on crime policies, and therefore, in relative to this, you are also increasing the more women and young girls being raped because you're not putting these people behind bars. So you're also pretty much promoting rape to happen because you're not putting these people behind bars. Compared to what the Republicans are doing, which are equally as dumb, just as different, where they're just not doing the exception thing, where all these other states are, have the exception, which they should. But again, these are the things that need to go through. And I think the rape exception should be the thing. Pro-life, mostly okay, but we have to have exceptions. And I think what Donald Trump said here with the exception to the abortion thing is understandable and completely is completely okay. Because we do have to have some exceptions here. And the Idaho exception is probably the best one. If you were being raped, you need to report it, and as long as you report it, you're allowed to have the abortion. And women, please, for the love of God, if this has happened to you, report it so we can at least catch the bastard that did this. Obviously, we don't want you to be assaulted and then not know about it and can't catch the criminal that did it. Please, please, please. I know it's difficult, but report it so that way we can put the bastard behind jail, and then maybe he'll get killed in a jail cell or something. Especially if it's young women, children, for that matter. He'll definitely get offed. So at least report it, and then if you do get pregnant by some means, we can get this pushed up further to the exception, and then you can get those abortions. Other than that, all these other things are your choice. This is what I have a problem with this, and I hope this video kind of enlightens everything on everybody as well. I am pro-life, but I understand there needs to be exceptions, and I understand the rape and the life exception where your life is in danger needs to be addressed and put in, because there are things that are out of people's control, and they should not be forced to be dealt with this. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.